Welcome back to my channel. My name's Lisa Jane, and if you are new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video, and if you are returning, thank you as always for being here. So in today's video I am going to be going through my Summer TBR Hopefuls list. So these are books that I am hoping to read over the summer months, which is June, July and August. That's how I do it. I split up the months each year, and yeah, I'm going to see how many I can get to out of all these books. It would be great if I could get to all 12 which I've picked out. However, you know, I think I said it in my last video, I'm not going to put that pressure on myself. So we will just do what we can. So let's just get on with it. I am going to start with like my contemporary romance books. So I think this one was actually on my spring TBR and I just haven't got round to it. However, I feel like you probably could still get away with it like in June, early June time. So yeah, we'll see if this one gets picked in my June TBR, but that is on my radar. And this is just about Tally Darling, who is an aspiring pastry chef. She returns to her home at her family's daffodil farm, and the last thing she expects to find is a hot, half-naked farmhand living in her childhood bedroom, running her late daddy's business. So yeah, and then it goes on about Jesse Walker might be gorgeous, but he's also infuriatingly grumpy. So I think, yeah, it's going to be a good read. I think pretty much we all know how these are going to go, but they are just fun and great for the summer or spring. That's book number one. Book number two, I have had this book on my TBR, I think, since 2024. I've read a couple of this author's books, but I just don't know why I haven't got around to this one, and I know a lot of people like it, so let me know what you think and if you've read it. And it is Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and it just says Nora's a cutthroat literary agent at the top of her game. Her whole life is books. Charlie is an editor with a gift for creating bestsellers, and he's Nora's work nemesis. So I think she has, it just says she's been through enough breakups to know that she's the one men date before finding their happily ever after. Okay, so she goes on a date and then they find their happily ever after afterwards. That was a bit of a mouthful. But to prevent dating, Nora's sister persuades her to swap her city desk for a month's holiday in Sunshine Falls. So she goes off to Sunshine Falls thinking she's having a breakaway, and then who ends up there as well? This hotshot editor, Charlie. So again, probably similar type of lines, but yeah, looking forward to this one. It just says small town, straight out of a romance novel, but instead of meeting sexy lumberjacks, handsome doctors or cute bartenders, Nora keeps bumping into Charlie. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. And like I say, they're just books that you can read, you know, when it's warm outside and you can sit in the garden. And on that theme, I think I bought this last year at a place called 66 Books in the UK, and it's like a big massive book warehouse, and in there they have a lot of books at like 70% off the retail price. So it is immense, and you can go to town in there and spend a lot of money. And I think I picked this one up for about £3, and I've not read anything from this author before, but I've heard mixed things. So let me know again if you've read it and what you think. But this one is, I think it's Annabelle Monaghan, or it could be Monaghan, I'm not sure, but I think it's Monaghan, and it is same time next summer. So again, it just says on paper, Sam's life is on track. She's got the perfect fiance, a stable job, and has returned home to pick out a wedding venue near her family's Long Island beach house. The last person she expects to see is Wyatt, her first love and the man who broke her heart. See, now that's a bit... I hope this doesn't involve cheating, because she's obviously planning to marry somebody else, so that's not what I want to be reading. So please let me know if you've read this one. Does it involve somebody being cheated on? Because I'm not sure that's for me. I picked it up because it looked like a really nice summary, but when I picked it up at 66 Books, I didn't read the back of it. I just thought I recognise the author's name, yeah, let me know. I've also got Nora Goes Off Script, and I think that's on my May TBR, I want to say. So I will be reading that one, so we'll see how we get on with it. But yeah. The next book is When in Rome by Sarah Adams. This is starting the When in Rome series. I think it goes by Rome, Kentucky and When in Rome, but it is that series. I have books 1, 2 and 4. I just need to get beg, borrow or steal, I think it might be. However, I am one of them people who love to have the series. However, I've not read the first book, so I don't know if I'm going to like it. So fingers crossed for me. But again, just a romance. This is about Amelia Rose, who's burnt out from years of maintaining her public image as pop princess Ray Rose. Inspired by her favourite Audrey Hepburn film, Roman Holiday, she drives off in the middle of the night for a break in Rome, Kentucky that is. Running the pie shop his grandmother left him, Noah Walker is busy enough as it is. But after finding Amelia on his front lawn in her broken down car, he decides to let her stay in his guest room on a very temporary basis, of course. As the two of them grow closer, Noah starts to see a new side to Amelia, kind-hearted and goofy, yet lonely from years in the public eye. Amelia may have to go back to her other life someday, but for now she's perfectly happy, falling in love with the small cosy town she's found herself in, and her grumpy tour guide isn't half bad either. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. And I can't believe, just on a random side note, how many Noahs are featured in books these days. My youngest is called Noah, and when we gave him that name, it wasn't popular at all. It was really rare, but however, it just seems to be everywhere now. So yeah, that was just a side note. But yeah, that's one on. And then I started with the second book in the series, which is out of character for me, but I'm hoping it won't spoil it too much. But I picked up the Love Light Farm series. I can't think what month I read it, but I can't even think what book it was called. In the Weeds. I read book 2, In the Weeds, and absolutely loved that one. I think I gave it 3.5. But in all honesty, for such a cheesy, quick, easy book, I possibly should have given it 4 because I really, really did enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to this one. These tend to be seasonal reads. So In the Weeds was spring. Obviously Love Light Farms is the Christmassy book. So that was like the winter one. That's where you start. However, yeah, I'm up to this one and I really want to get to it in the summer months because, like I say, really enjoyed In the Weeds and that style of writing. And this is about Layla Dupree and Caleb Alvarez, and they pretty much follow the same structure in each book really with these romances. There's just like different jobs or just different things going on in the background. But yeah, Mixed Signals is definitely one I want to get round to. And then last in the first pile is a classic, which is The Secret Garden. I think this could have been on my spring TBR and I just didn't get round to it. It's not a big book. It's a classic. I think I remember it slightly from when I was younger, but not in great detail. And I just thought, what better time to read it than in the summer or the spring, to be fair, but I just didn't get round to it. But look at that, they've got like illustrations inside the book. So yeah, it's lovely and I'm looking forward to this one. I also have on my list, which isn't in the pile, it's called The Daisy Chain Flower Shop, and it is book number 6 in the Dream Harbour series. Now this series isn't for everybody. It can be quite spicy at times. I'll pop a picture of the new book here. As I'm filming this, I am going to be picking this up. I will be reading this book as soon as I probably get it, to be fair. But this is on my summer TBR. And I think this follows a lady called Daisy who runs the local florist shop. But apparently there's some sort of curse hanging over her and nobody's buying her flowers. And she obviously does flowers for weddings and things. And I think that the couples that have had flowers off her, they've all separated and she's unlucky in love as well. So yeah, there's lots going on in this one, but yeah, can't wait to read it. Then we move on to a little bit different. I think this is classed as a historical thriller or a historical fiction. It could be not a thriller, historical fiction. And I've seen this everywhere, and it's Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall. And it just says, Beth was 17 when she first met Gabriel. Then he left and it was Frank who picked up the pieces. But when Gabriel comes back years later, their connection is instant. People in the village said nothing good would come of Gabriel's return. And as Beth looks at the man she loves on trial for murder, she can't help but thinking they were right. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. And I say that on every single book, but I just am. I've bought these books because I'm looking forward to them. But I'm just hoping I can get to as many of these as possible. We also have The Names that I've recently bought. This is a literary fiction book. And I think I've mentioned it in a previous video. It follows a lady who's having a baby. And basically it's what she calls her son. So it's like leads you down different pathways if he was named certain names. So it just says, I'll read it out to you because that'll explain it better. It is 1987, and in the wake of a great storm, Cora sets out with her young daughter to register the birth of her son. Her husband expects her to follow tradition and call the baby after him. But is it right for her child to inherit his name from generations of domineering men? Her choice will shape the course of their lives. 7 years later, her son is Bear, a name chosen by his sister, hoping he will grow up to be brave and big-hearted. Or is he Julian? The name his mother set her heart on, keen for him to become his own person. Or is he Gordon, named after his father and raised in his cruel image? But is there still a chance to break the mould? Powerfully moving and full of hope, this is a story of 3 names, 3 versions of a life, and the infinite possibilities that a single decision can spark. So I am so desperate to get round to this one. I think this is going to be very high up on my list to read. I think everybody's read this bar me, and it is Project Hail Mary by Andy. I think it's Ware. I don't know which way you say it. Obviously the movie's out now, and my husband is absolutely, I think, chomping to watch it. However, I have told him I can't watch it. I need to read the book first. So really, this probably needs to become a bit of a priority for me. So we will see how the June TBR goes. Maybe I can get it on that. But yeah, the idea is I am going to read the book and then we're going to watch the movie together, I think. But if you didn't know, this follows Ryland Grace, and he's basically the sole survivor on a last chance mission. And if he fails, humanity and Earth itself will perish. Except that right now he doesn't know that. He can't even remember his own name, let alone the nature of his assignment or how to complete it. All he knows is that he's been asleep for a very long time, and he's just been awakened to find himself millions of miles from home with nothing but 2 corpses for company. His crewmates are dead, his memories are fuzzy, and Ryland realises that an impossible task now confronts him. Hurtling through space on this tiny ship, it's up to him to puzzle out an impossible scientific mystery and conquer an extinction-level threat to our species. And with the clock ticking down and the nearest human being light years away, he's got to do it all alone, or does he? So yeah, looking forward to this one. I have my final 2 books, and they are both fantasy. This is YA fantasy, and this is The Thorn Queen. I'm not going to read the back of this one because obviously this is the second book in a series, but really looking forward to it. The first book was called The Rose Bargain, and yeah, highly recommend. Go and read it if you haven't. It does feature some sort of like trials in a sense, and it's very Bridgerton like the first book, so if you like that kind of thing you may like it. Like I say, it's YA, so it's not very spicy or anything like that, but it's a duology or a duet. I don't know what the difference is between the two, and yeah, I am really looking forward to reading this one. And then last but not least, we are in the same situation again as this last one, and this is book number 2 in a series called Shield of Sparrows. I read Shield of Sparrows last year when it came out. Really enjoyed it. We follow our main protagonist, Odessa, I think her name is, or have I just made that up off the top of my head? I can't see her name anywhere in the front bit, so please accept my apologies if I'm wrong, but I've got a feeling her name is Odessa. And yeah, we travel a lot around the world. There was a lot of travelling in the first book and it got a little bit repetitive at times. However, I did enjoy it and I do want to continue on with the series, and I'm really looking forward to see what's going to happen in this one. And yeah, like I say, I really enjoyed the first one. So definitely, if you like fantasy and you like, you know, exploring worlds and travelling across them, that Shield of Sparrows, which is the first one, could be the book for you. So yeah, they are the 12 books. I think that was 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we've got the one that I am going to be buying. So they are the 12 books I would like to read this summer. I would love to know if you do a summer TBR, let me know what's on it. I'd love to know if you've got any of the same books as me, or you've got any different ones, because it might be that I've got them on my cart and you're just, or my bookshelf, because we won't talk about that because that's full of books I need to read. But yeah, you might spark my interest in something I've already got, or you might bring my attention to something that I haven't. Not that my husband wants me to be buying loads more books, because I don't ever stop. But yeah, looking forward to reading all of these, and I think that's it. I think that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you got to this point in the video, leave me a nice sunshine emoji. Let's start feeling summer. The weather is warming up slightly where I am. We had a really nice week of heat and it seemed to have gone again at the minute. But if you get to the end of this video, please leave me a sunshine emoji and I will see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.